This is Tom Fox, and I'd like to welcome you to a new season of the award-winning Adventures in Compliance, the podcast where we look at the Sherlock Holmes short stories, movies, novels, and related material from the angle of compliance. The Casebook of Sherlock Holmes is the final set of 12 out of a total of 56 Sherlock Holmes short stories published by author Conan Doyle. These were published, of course, in the Strand magazine between October 1921 and April 1927. The books are two of the short stories, The Adventure of the Veiled Lodger and The Old Shuscombe Old Place, were the last of the Sherlock Holmes works protected by copyright. Although some of the stories are comparable with earlier works, many people feel that this is a lesser offering of Holmes, to which I wholeheartedly disagree. I hope that you will join us for this exploration of the final collected works of Sherlock Holmes as we take a deep dive literally into business ethics, leadership, investigative strategies, pattern recognition, and perhaps even portending the use of AI and generative AI as a tool for the compliance professional. There are some great stories in here, and I know you will enjoy them, and I hope you will enjoy this season of Adventures in Compliance really as much as I've enjoyed reading the stories. Today we take up one of my personal favorites and really one of the top ones from the Casebook of Sherlock Holmes. It's The Problem of Thor Bridge, which was released in the Strand magazine on February and March of 1922. We consider what lessons for the compliance professional can come from this story. We're going to have a quick word from our network sponsor, Ethico, then we'll be right back.
If you're a compliance officer, middle managers are crucial in getting your programs from you to your frontline employees. But how do we activate those managers and get them on our side? Ethico's new Middle Manager Toolkit equips you with the skills needed to empower your managers, to promote a culture where ethical behavior thrives and employees feel empowered to speak up. Learn how to turn frontline managers into ethical leaders with our new white paper, Empowering Middle Managers as Ethics Champions. And did I mention you can get the whole toolkit for free? Head to ethico.com to download the full toolkit today.
For the upcoming Compliance Week celebration in November, check out The Compliance Kids. It's my 3-book children's series on compliance and compliance professionals for children. But they make great gifts and great training tools for your employees. You can check it out on Amazon.com. We've linked to it in the show notes. Today, I want to look at how the investigation by Sherlock Holmes into the problem at Thor Bridge holds timeless principles that resonate deeply with today's corporate compliance professional, especially given the DOJ's latest emphasis on data-driven insights and a robust culture of compliance. The story highlights core investigative and analytical skills compliance professionals must have to navigate today's complex regulatory landscape. So what are some of these? Number 1, question assumptions and look beyond surface-level evidence. In the case at Thor Bridge, the governess is accused based on seemingly damning but superficial evidence. Holmes, however, refrains from drawing conclusions until he examines the facts in greater depth. For compliance professionals in 2024, this teaches us the importance of challenging initial assumptions in an investigation. Quick conclusions often overlook critical information and lead to errors. Just as Holmes digs deeper, compliance teams should approach investigations and audits with a healthy level of skepticism, examining all potential motivations, conflicts of interest, or hidden influences that might drive unethical behavior. 2, document and analyze small details rigorously. Holmes' success in solving the mystery hinges on his ability to notice seemingly insignificant details, such as the gun's position and the marks on the bridge. This precision is crucial for compliance professionals who face mounting pressures to document every action thoroughly and provide clear records of their processes and findings. For modern compliance professionals, small discrepancies in financial records, incomplete due diligence documentation, and minor deviations from policy are not trivial. They can be signs of underlying issues. Advanced data analytics tools can help compliance professionals detect minor irregularities across massive data sets, enhancing their ability to prevent and detect fraud, bribery, or compliance breaches. 3. Approach investigations with objectivity and independence. Holmes conducts his investigation at Thor Bridge with independence, unburdened by the client's perceptions or public opinion. For compliance professionals, maintaining objectivity is critical to establishing trust and credibility, but within the organization and with external regulators. In 2024, this principle is even more relevant than ever, as regulatory bodies like the DOJ and SEC expect transparency and data-backed documentation of the investigation process. 4. Consider motive, opportunity, and root causes. Holmes' investigations delves into the motives and relationships behind the crime. For compliance teams, understanding the motivations and root causes behind the potential violations are essential in preventing future issues. The 2024 update to the ECCP highlights the need for root cause analysis to understand why misconduct occurs and how organizational factors may contribute to it. 5. Use data and technology to gather and analyze evidence. Holmes uses methodical observation and deduction to solve this case. In 2024, compliance professionals have the advantage of sophisticated data analytics tools that allow an even deeper insights and a more systematic approach. The DOJ's latest standards emphasize data-driven approaches, making it crucial for compliance teams to investigate technology into their investigations. 6. Ensure thorough documentation and transparency. One of Holmes' key strengths is his meticulous documentation of findings, which enables him to build a strong case. For compliance teams, thorough documentation is essential to demonstrate compliance efforts to regulators and provide a clear trail of investigative actions. In 2024, this transparency is critical in meeting regulatory demands and demonstrating a robust commitment to compliance. Foster a speak-up culture and protect whistleblowers. Holmes often relies on information provided by the witnesses or individuals with the knowledge of the case. In the corporate setting, the information often comes from internal whistleblowers or those close to non-compliant activity. In 2024, building a culture that encourages speaking up is crucial, especially with the DOJ interested in focus on employee engagement and compliance culture. Ensuring that employees feel safe reporting concerns is fundamental to uncovering issues early and preventing escalation. Compliance teams should work to build a culture of speak up by creating clear, accessible reporting channels and ensuring whistleblower protections are robust. 8. Proactively address findings and prevent future issues. While Holmes does not simply stop at uncovering the truth, he ensures that justice is served by presenting his findings to authorities. Similarly, compliance teams must act on investigative results, using them as a foundation to strengthen compliance controls and prevent similar issues in the future. In 2024, the ECCP update calls for proactive remediation and continuous improvement, meaning that addressing findings is just as important as uncovering them. Number 9, embrace continuous learning to adapt to emerging risks. Holmes' adaptability and commitment to learning from each case mirror the need for compliance professionals to stay agile and proactive. In 2024, as regulatory requirements and business risks continue to evolve, compliance professionals must be prepared to adapt, incorporating new knowledge and new information. And finally, number 10, lessons learned. The problem at Thor Bridge offers a wealth of lessons for the compliance professional, emphasizing the importance of careful observation, data-backed evidence, and integrity in investigations. For compliance teams, these principles are essential in building and maintaining a robust compliance culture that meets today's heightened regulatory expectations. By approaching compliance with a holistic, data-driven mindset and fostering a culture that values transparency and accountability, compliance professionals can ensure that their programs remain effective, resilient, and prepared to address the complex challenges of operationalizing compliance in 2025 and beyond. to the final collected works of Sherlock Holmes, the Casebook of Sherlock Holmes. As I mentioned at the start of this podcast, Ethico is the Compliance Podcast Network sponsor, and their management toolkit is a great tool for you to use. It's available free, and check out the link in the show notes for more information on it. If you're a Holmes fan or you enjoy analogizing to compliance, leadership, and ethics, this is the podcast series for you. I hope you will take the opportunity to reread one or perhaps all of the short stories. They're short reads and a lot of fun. I'm going to be taking a deep dive into each one of them, looking at leadership lessons, ethical lessons, and or compliance lessons from each one. If you're a Sherlock Holmes aficionado like myself, I'd love to visit with you about some of your favorite stories and perhaps record a podcast or two with you on them. So please contact me. You can reach me through the website of the Compliance Podcast Network. Adventures in Compliance is a special production of the Compliance Podcast Network. And as I mentioned, we are sponsored this month by Ethico. So I hope you will check out the Ethico white paper that's available through their special link on that we put in the show notes that I mentioned earlier. This is Tom Fox. I'm greatly looking forward to the return of Sherlock Holmes. Join us next week when we take up the adventure of the creeping man.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.